Hey guys, it's Brant, and I'm back with another The Panel Has Spoken video. And you guys have spoken and weighed in on this week's video, Peter Criss's release from 2007, One for All. And I gotta admit that this panel was not very well welcomed. It didn't receive a very warm welcome from the panel. And a lot of you were going, why? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to us? But I wanted to do it because I'm a completist, or I just want to get everything done as far as the post-Kiss solo albums. And we've done all of Gene's, we've done all of Paul's. This will be the last of Peter's. And well, we're not done all of Paul's because now he's got Soul Station, but that's a video for another day. But we want to get through Peter so we can get on to Ace, and we'll be taken up with the next Ace Frehley solo album. I'll announce that, but of course, if you follow the channel, you know what the next one's going to be, but I'll announce that at the end of the video. But today, right now, at this moment, we're going to talk about Peter Criss's All for One album, and we're going to talk about who is on the panel. And I had a viewer bring it up to me that they missed me saying what panel members picked what is their favorite song. Whoever you are, I can't remember who you were, but you know who you are if you're watching this video, and we're going to be reinstating that on this video. So let's get right into this. Let's try to keep this video under 30 minutes. 11, and it shouldn't be hard because there was only 11 of us on this panel, and that includes me. So 10 other than me. So let's see. Let me check and make sure my math's right, because that looks more than 10. It looks like more than 10. So let me look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that's 10. It's me. Of course, panel leader from YouTube, Toy Bonnie Guy, Sublime 130, Jesse Ray, Joel Pegg, Demons of Rock. And Demons of Rock was real excited about this. He's a huge Kiss fan, along with John B. Good. He's a huge, not only a huge Kiss fan, but a huge Peter Criss fan. Les Wadley, Emily Graziano. From Twitter, David King. From Facebook, Matt Yuchi and John Sweeney. So those are the only people that I had on this panel. And so that, let's see how many tracks we have on here. There are 12 tracks, and some people would say there were about 9 tracks too many, maybe. So we'll see what I think, and we're going to go through. I did not do predictions because I had no clue. I didn't think any song was going to do very well with the panel. And a lot of people, they did this and kind of begrudgingly. And so if you enjoy this album and this was one you wanted to do, then great. If it's one that you kind of trudged through to say that you're on the panel for this one, then that's great too. I appreciate each and every one of you that come week after week after week. So let's just get right into it because I didn't do predictions. So I'm going to start with what you guys picked, and then I'm going to tell you what my pick is for each song. So 12 tracks. You guys for number 12 with 46 points picked Last Night. Last Night. I picked Last Night for me as number 10. I said on this that Last Night, it seems disorganized. The melody is lacking and the guitar is annoying in this song. To me, it was. So for me, you guys picked Last Night as 12. I picked it for me as number 10. And let's see who picked Last Night as a favorite. Nobody. Nobody picked Last Night as a favorite. All right, so number 11. You guys with 60 points for number 11 picked Whisperer. Whisperer. Whisperer, I picked at 11 as well. I thought Whisperer was boring. That is my notes. Whisperer is boring. Did anybody pick Whisperer as their number 1? No, nobody did. Number 10 with 67 points. There's a tie for number 10. And in a tie, what I generally did was if somebody picked it as their number one. The more people that did that, or the more people that picked it higher, got the next number up. Number 10 with 67 points, you guys picked Memories at number 10. Memories for me was number 6. And I've got in my notes here, Peter wrote this song for his fans too. Being so grateful for their support and the reunion with Kiss. It's not bad. It's not strong. It's not weak. It's not the worst. It's not the best. That's why it's kind of in the middle for me. It's that middle ground song. I liked everything above this song better. I liked everything below this song worse for me. So Memories for me is number 6. You guys picked it as number 10. Did anybody pick it as their favorite? No, they did not. Okay, so nobody is their favorite. All right, so that brings us up to number 9. It's tied with 67 points. You guys chose for number 9, One for All. Now, One for All, for me, is actually pretty high up. It's number 4. But I've got that I really like this song, but the vocalizations, and if you know this song, you know what I'm talking about. The vocalizations and the kids choir drags this down for me. This would have been scored a little better except for the vocalizations and the kids choir. I picked it at number 4. You guys picked One for All at number 9. And did anybody pick it as their favorite? No, they did not. I promise you guys picked some of these as your favorite, but so far, none. All right, so number 8, with 67 points again, a 3-way tie. I just saw that we got 2 3-way ties. 67 points, number 8, you guys chose What a Difference a Day Makes. Now, for me, this one's up there, man. I mean, I like this song. What a Difference a Day Makes is number 2 for me. It's my second favorite song on this album. I like this. It says, I got in my notes, I like this jazzy small club type of song. Peter's vocals are okay. And this was originally recorded by Dinah Washington in 1959. And I've got Peter's vocals are ... okay, because Peter really could have used a producer on this. This was a self-produced album, and he really could have used some outside help with the producing on this. The drums, I think, are great. The drums sound good in this whole album. And I think Peter does some really good drumming on a lot of these songs. But he needed some additional help with the writing. Some of the melodies of the lyrics are weak. Some of the lyrics are weak. A lot of the lyrics are weak. But Peter, man, his vocals are just all over the place. And he can sing when he's got somebody directing him and producing him. But by himself, man, this album could have been better, in my opinion. It could have been better with just a little bit more help. Help from his friends. What's that? Joe Cocker and the Beatles. Get by with some help from my friends. Yeah, What a Difference a Day Make. You guys picked it at 8. I picked it at number 2. Did anybody pick it as their favorite? Yes, they did. Sublime 130 picked What a Difference a Day Makes as his favorite song. And man, I'm right there with you. I like this song a lot. So that takes us up to number 7 with 72 points. This is another 3-way tie, as I said earlier. You guys chose for number 7 with 72 points the song called Hope. Hope for me is, I scored at number 3. It's a good song. I've got under my notes, it might have been better with the producer to reel Pete in some. This is a reject from the Psycho Circus album. And you can really kind of hear that, you know, it could have been on Psycho Circus. And Pete, he was just out there with this one. But I still liked it enough for it to be number 3 on my list. Like I said, Peter just needed help. Needed help with the vocals, needed help with lyrics, needed help with melody. Didn't need help with the drumming, though. So, you guys picked Hope for 7. I picked at 3. Who else picked Hope as their favorite? Nobody. Nobody picked it as their favorite. So, number 6, 72 points also. you guys chose Send in the Clowns as your number 6 song. And people were making fun of this song, saying, man, Send in the Clowns for real. Send in the Clowns for me, man, it is the bottom of the barrel. I mean, it is, to me, it is the worst. It was number 12 for me. I didn't like this song at all. It was written by Stephen Sondheim and was originally featured in the 1973 musical A Little Night Music. It was the first song Peter recorded following his departure from Kiss after the reunion again and the farewell. And you can almost hear the pain in Peter's voice. And like I said, this song is just, man, this just was not a good song for me. And I didn't like hearing the pain in Peter's voice. So it's bottom of the barrel for me. Did anybody pick it as their favorite? Yes. David King picked it as his favorite. And man, I hate to down the song the way I am, David. But I'm glad that you like it. And I'm glad that there's something on this album for everybody. Because everybody had to pick a favorite. And I'm glad that you like this song. It just, man, it didn't hit with me right at all. So, number 5, top 5. Another one tied at 72 points. Number 5, you guys chose Faces in the Crowd. The Faces in the Crowd for me is 8. It's 8 on my list. It's weak. It suffers from a bad melody and weak delivery. In my opinion, Peter was inspired by the fans, seeing the crowd at the reunion. He wrote this song for them. This is another song Peter wrote for his fans in appreciation of his fans. And so, Faces in the Crowd, we had quite a people pick this as their favorite. Toy Bonnie Guy picked it as his favorite. Les Wadley picked it as his favorite. Matt Ucci picked it as his favorite. So there's several people that picked it as their favorite. For me, it was down there quite a bit. All right, so that brings us up to number 4. This is 75 points. You guys scored 75 points on this one. Number 4, you guys chose Falling All Over Again. Falling All Over Again, for me, number 9. I've got under my notes, again, weak. The guitar solo is good. A lot of these songs are depressing. And this was one of those songs that was depressing. This album was just, it had very few happy moments. It had very few rocking moments. I know we always want Peter Criss to rock out. I'm okay if Peter does ballads. I love some of his ballads, but some of these songs are just depressing, and Peter needs somebody just there to just grab him and say, hey man, lighten up, either lighten up or rock out. Sing a couple sad songs, but there's so many depressing songs on this album. And it just overall has a depressing mood to it. But yeah, so it was number 9 for me, number 4 for you guys, and John Sweeney was the only person to pick it as his favorite, but a lot of you guys picked it very strongly, so that pushed it up. So that brings us up to number 3 with 83 points. 83 points, number 3, you guys chose Doesn't Get Better. And, man, you can make a lot of jokes with some of the titles of these songs. Poor Peter. Doesn't Get Better. Doesn't Get Better. I chose it at number 7. Once again, I've got Peter seems to go flat a lot on this one, and the female background doesn't help. And like I said, it doesn't get better in a lot of these songs. And I'm trying not to trash and bash this album too much, because what I liked about it, I liked about it, and what I didn't like about it, I really didn't like about it. So you guys chose Doesn't Get Better number 3. I chose Doesn't Get Better number 7. Emily Graziano chose Doesn't Get Better number 1. Number 1 for her. So good for you, Emily. This album was painful for a lot of you guys, but Emily managed to pick Doesn't Get Better for her as her number 1. All right, so that brings us up to the top 2 with 86 points. You guys chose for your number 2 song, Heart Behind These Hands. And Heart Behind These Hands, for me, is number 5. And I've got, this is from the musical, Brooklyn the Musical. Peter auditioned for a role in the Broadway production following his appearance on Oz, but while his singing was fine, his acting skills still needed some work, and he didn't get the part. Peter, I've got in my notes, Peter still overdoes it quite a bit on this one, and that's one of the problems that plagues this album when it comes to Peter's actual vocal performance. It's a compounded issue in my opinion, because like I said earlier, he's got lyrics that aren't that great in subject matter, even when he does, and when he does covers, his vocals are all over the place. He's either going flat or he's putting himself out there too much. He's being a little too overzealous. And then when it's songs that aren't covers, he's got lyrics that aren't that strong, melodies that aren't that strong, and songs that are just flat or downright depressing. This is all in my opinion. If you love this album, that's great. Let's see. Heart Behind These Hands. Did anybody choose it as a favorite? Yes, Joel Pegg, Demons of Rock. Joel Pegg and Demons of Rock chose Heart Behind These Hands as their favorite song on the album. So that leads us to number 1. Number 1 with 91 points. That's the highest it got, 91 points. Space Ace is your number 1 pick. And Space Ace is my number 1 pick too. It was inspired obviously by Peter Criss's band member Ace Frehley. This song is similar in title to one that Peter wrote prior to the Psycho Circus recording fiasco called Space Fever, which he thought it would be a good song for Ace at the time. According to Peter in his book, he's viewing Ace in a negative light. I like this song okay. The reason why this song is number 1 for me is the jam that's at the last 2 minutes of this song. The last 2 minutes of this song is, to me, the best 2 minutes on the whole album. I love the end of Space Ace. The rest of the song is okay, but those last 2 minutes, I remember going, wow. Why couldn't the rest of this album be like that? Why couldn't it have the balls and that musicianship that this part of this song has? Why couldn't the rest of the album be that way? So you guys picked at number 1. I picked at number 1. And other than me, Jesse Ray picked Space Ace as their favorite song. So to recap it out, you guys picked Last Night at number 12, Whisper at number 11, Memories at number 10, One for All at number 9, What a Difference a Day Makes at number 8, Hope at number 7, Sending the Clowns at number 6, Faces in the Crowd at number 5, Falling All Over Again at number 4, It Doesn't Get Better at number 3, Heart Behind These Hands at number 2, and Space Ace at number 1. And my closing thoughts on One for All would be this. Pete just seems to be stuck between trying too hard and not trying hard enough. Weak songwriting, weird melodies for the most part. Pete seems to be trying too hard to get his vocals out and goes flat a bit. But his drumming is great. Overall, I would probably rank this album on a scale of 1 to 10. I would probably give it a 3. It's not that great in my opinion. I know some of you love this album, and I know most of you hate it. If you love this album, that's great. Good for you, because you have that right. And doesn't mean anything. It just means that you like this album, and you like Peter, and you like his music. And sometimes you're like that with bands. Like I'm like that with Typo Negative, the band Typo Negative. They can do anything, and even their worst album that people might hate, I love it. And they're a band that most people don't like, so I still love it. I still love them. So that's how you may be with this album, and that is okay with me. That's great. The next album that we will be doing, be on the lookout for the link to go to SurveyMonkey and fill out your list for Ace Frehley's 2014 Space Invader. That's going to be fun. It's going to be a great one. I'm looking forward to that one so much. Once you do your survey, go back and come back to the post and say, done, put my survey in. Let me know, because that way I know who's on the panel. So that's all I got for this one. Thank you guys so much for all your week-to-week support and watching the videos and participating and being panel members. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. And I'll tell you what, I'll just talk about where I picked last night. Let's go ahead and do it that way, where I picked these songs at. What I said earlier, just scratch it, We're just gonna just follow along. It's fun making these videos again. It's fun being in my room and making these videos again.